Hello, and welcome to this tutorial on the views students will see in the new D2L version 10.3. We strongly recommend that you view the tutorials on navigation and the content function prior to viewing this tutorial on how the Dropbox function works. We are now looking in the second module for this course called Dave's Module for Show. Notice how we have completed the first module, Connect and eBook. We can tell from the number balloon showing an 8 in our current module that we have some activities yet to complete. And from looking to the right in the content display panel, we can see which ones those are. Although we have yet to view the file named Piazza Slides, we also can tell that we have not submitted anything to the next activity, which is a Dropbox activity. We can tell this from the lack of a check mark to the far right of the Dropbox folder's name. Notice how the instructor can choose to include some instructions or comments below the name of the Dropbox folder. Clicking on the name of the Dropbox folder will take us immediately to the page where we can do so. The next screen will show you what it looks like when we click on "This is an individual submission folder" hypertext. One of the first things we notice is that the instructions, which we saw for this Dropbox in the content display panel, also appear at the top of our screen. Notice the submissions box is open and it says no submissions yet. Once we have created and saved the file that we are going to submit to complete this assignment, we have three options to get it into this Dropbox. One, we can either drag and drop it directly into the box, or two, we can click on the Upload button and choose a file from some folder or location on our computer, or three, we can click on the Choose Existing button and choose a file that we have already saved to somewhere within D2L, such as our locker. Once we do one of these and continue, the empty square box from the content view will then change and show a check mark inside of it. Since the file that we want to submit is on our computer's desktop, we're going to choose the drag and drop option. Here's what it looks like once we have dragged the file called Tech Tool List 2001, a PDF file, and dropped it into the submissions box. A comments box opens up where we can type in additional information for the instructor to see. Let's take a look at the different icons inside that comments box on both the menu bar in the top left corner as well as the one in the lower right corner. In the top left menu bar, these icons are a drop-down menu where a student can choose Cut, Copy, Paste, or Paste As. We see the icon for bold font, italic font, and then a drop-down menu where the student can choose underline, strike through, subscript, or superscript. The next icon to the right means to indent to the right. This is an unordered list, and this is the drop-down menu for an ordered list of options where you can have it count by 1, 2, 3 or A, B, C, so on. And if you wanted to unlist it or unorder it, then you would go back to the left one icon and click that. This is the icon for insert a link, and finally the last down pointing triangle on the right is for a drop-down menu where the student can choose to insert either a symbol, a line, or an attribute. Now let's go down and look at the other menu bar down in the bottom right corner of the comments box. In order, these icons are Check Spelling, HTML Source Editor, Preview, Toggle Full Screen, and the last one is a resize icon, which allows the student to resize the dialog box that they submit along with their file to the Dropbox. Important notice: once students have finished attaching files, making comments, and anything else that they're going to do in those boxes, they need to click once on the Submit to Dropbox button in the lower left. Up until that point, nothing will have been sent to the instructor's Dropbox. Once we click on the Submit to Dropbox button, we can see that our Tech Tool List 2001 PDF file was uploaded, and that the only comment we made in the submission box was the errant addition of an empty bullet point. Notice on the far right that D2L puts a date and time stamp on our submission. Also, notice that the message, "Confirmation email sent successfully," appears as well. This means that your UW-Stout email account inbox will have a message from D2L, which looks like this. This is a screenshot from the student's email inbox with the body of a D2L system-generated email that informs the student that the file was received, the name of the file, and the date and the time the file was received. Note: once you've submitted a file, you should get a completion checkmark next to your activity. Just be aware that it may take the system a little bit of time to update your completion status. Until that completion checkmark shows up next to this activity, it might be a good idea to keep a copy of this message. Students can also access the various Dropbox activities from the Dropbox tab in the nav bar at the top of the screen. In case you're wondering, the icon for Dropbox is supposed to be an old-fashioned office inbox from back in the days when documents were made of paper. Here's what it looks like when we click on that icon in the nav bar. Notice how this view does not indicate to which module each of these individual Dropboxes belongs, but it does show from a glance at the columns on the right what our scores are, whether or not we submitted to it, if the instructor left feedback for us, as well as if there is a due date associated with that activity. From this view, we can see that we have submitted our file to the individual submission folder because there is a number 1 in the submissions column. When viewing Dropbox folders in this way, just as when we are viewing activities within a content module, just clicking on the blue hypertext name of the Dropbox will take us to that same submission box that we saw earlier in this tutorial. And that is it for the student views in the Dropbox feature of D2L 10.3. Thank you for taking the time to view this basic tutorial.